Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be discussing my favorite holiday releases for 2025. Welcome back, and today we are doing my sort of favorite video for the Christmas releases for the 2025 season. I think I have discussed this quite extensively on my channel. I love Christmas time and Christmas time makeup, especially because I do think in terms of like collection designs, we do tend to see the best of designs from the brands. Not all of the brands, I do think definitely with some brands we do see that they kinda try to like take advantage of the fact that people are looking for this sort of Christmas holiday season makeup, but then the kind of execution kind of maybe falls short, or it kind of seems that they are maybe trying to cut some corners. I am, in terms of like disclaimers, these are of course very subjective opinion, like in terms of the fact that what we have as a makeup preferences, and you might like some Christmas collections that I don't, or some of these that might feature have been maybe like you haven't liked them. Also, second, obviously I haven't been buying all of these. I have like, there have been some that I have bought, but I'd be pretty much like bankrupt if I would have bought like everything, because we get so basically like I think every brand these days comes out with the holiday launch, and because we have so many makeup brands these days, it would be just impossible to fit this into a budget. And also surprising, there might be some Christmas launches that are not included in this video, but you might see later on that I have bought. I'm gonna say that, for example, I did recently. So I was on a work trip to Hague, Netherlands recently, and I did actually end up, for example, getting the Charlotte Tilbury, one of the like holiday face palettes. I have a shorts on my channel about the swatches of that one, but I am not gonna, for example, feature the Charlotte Tilbury holiday collection here as a whole, because as a whole I don't think the holiday collection was that exceptional compared to something else that we have. With some of these, it's more maybe about the packaging rather than maybe the products that are actually inside the packaging, and then vice versa. With some of these, it can be that I actually think that the color stories were included were maybe like better than the packaging that they did. But this, as I said, very subjective video, and you can like maybe go to this video that as that if you are still like eyeing a Christmas collection or a gift for a makeup lover, then maybe this could be a good like video that you can kind of see that what is available. However, availability will depend a lot of the country you're in and what kind of like brands are available in your makeup stores. But anyway, let's talk about the sort of my top picks for the holiday collection, because we do have quite a few of things to go through. So first one, this is the YSL's holiday collection for this year. This was quite leaked quite early this year. I think this was one of the first ones we saw. And this, I think, is now available on most of the YSL retailers in different regions. What I liked about this one this year was the golden themed packaging. They did have kind of gold and white packaging, I should note, because I have the eyeshadow card from the last year's launch. But this year they went all gold, and I do have to say, like, yeah, the eyeshadow palette, it's pretty safe, but again, this is YSL, and I do also kind of like the lip product colors. I think for an especially luxury makeup lover, this probably would be a very nice gift, and as I said, I do think in terms of packaging, this was one of the favorite packaging that I saw from, I think, especially these luxury brands from this year. Then something that I think even tops the YSL packaging, and this is purely on the list for the packaging, so Clé de Beau's holiday collection. I think this is the most, I kind of did say on my makeup news video that this almost went to the side, that is it maybe more spring rather than holiday, because we do get kind of like flowery pastel theme in this one, but I still would say that even though it kind of is on the edge that is it maybe too spring-esque, I have to say that this is the most beautiful packaging, I think, from all the holiday collections we saw. And yeah, this was something that I wasn't that interested in maybe about the products inside YSL Clé de Beau. Definitely, just like many other luxury brands, they tend to do these like pretty similar color stories. The quad did have the interesting pop of pink and purple, so it was a bit different. And I do actually have to say the insides of even the eyeshadow palette, even though it is this kind of traditional luxury brand quad, it kind of does still fit with the sort of packaging that the products have. But yeah, so I would say that in terms of like winning holiday packaging, I think Clé de Beau would have gotten the prize for this year. Fenty's holiday collection, Fenty does sets a lot, and that kind of shows in this one. However, within the sets there are actual like holiday exclusive items. I actually didn't end up buying one item. We are gonna see you have already seen by the time this video goes live on my makeup news video, my collective makeup review video. So I got the set that had the pink, I actually have the gloss, and so these two. basically. So I got the set that had these two. This was a gloss bomb that was exclusive to, I think, Fenty's some kind of like New York boutique, but then they released this with the lip liner. This is on their shade Riri, and this is a staple line lip liner from Fenty. But anyway, this is the sort of part that I got from the holiday set from Fenty. I am kind of still thinking that I'm gonna maybe... I'm still kind of thinking that will I put the gloss bomb trio, because this trio I think basically has all like only limited edition shades. I don't need 3 new gloss bombs in my collection. I already now have accumulated 1 for this year, but yeah. I have bought from this collection, and I do think if you're especially looking good lip products from holiday and you're looking for sets, this is a good option. And the Fenty's packaging design was kind of different. We have this sort of neon pink, black and reddish theme, so this is a bit different from the what I would say traditional holiday design that we see. So Girline, this is actually like their... I wanted to feature this because of the special edition packaging. So Girline actually did have a whole like holiday collection which had this kind of reddish orangey packaging, but then they also have this very special edition packaging for the lipstick cases, and I wanted to show the lipstick case because I do think for a luxury makeup lover this is something very special. Obviously, if you're gonna buy this lipstick case, then you are gonna commit yourself to Girline lipstick, so these are basically refillable, and obviously you can't put any other brand lipstick in this. But if you are a huge fan of Girline lipsticks and you especially like these cases that you can change, I do think this casing is something pretty special that what we have seen from holiday design. Is this something that I would want to get? Probably not. I don't need to start collecting Girline lipsticks. They are luxury brand lipsticks, they are expensive, but I can like appreciate going all the way, especially with this lipstick casing over here. Then something a bit more inexpensive, so Morphe's holiday collection. There are some sets in this one, but we also do have few holiday like exclusive items, the eyeshadow palette and then the sort of like makeup tools that are in this one, and also the mini glosses. I don't know Morphe's lip gloss range that are the mini glosses still like staple line shades, but at least I think the minis are like exclusive to the holiday collection. I like this sort of maroon red packaging design. I do think that especially if you are shopping a holiday gift for someone at a drugstore budget, I do actually think this is pretty the Morphe's like current quality. They have been like upping their quality. It's still, I wouldn't say not all of it is like excellent, but I do say for example teenagers this would be pretty decent. I did saw the review of the eyeshadow palette. I think the eyeshadow palette maybe looks a bit more exciting in the images than it actually is, because it has a couple of pops of purple, or sorry, not purple but pinks. But if you cover the pinks, it is still, I would say, a pretty everyday friendly palette because it is mostly a neutral palette. So I think for the like drugstore, the Morphe collection, I would say that it is a good option if you're looking a bit more inexpensive Christmas makeup to give to someone or get to yourself. Then from drugstore to luxury, so from Lisa Elgis, this is not a luxury brand that I have gotten into, because while I do believe this is quite raved among the luxury makeup community, for me the products themselves haven't been something that have appealed to me, but I will give them, this goes to the category with Clé de Peau that I will rate this highly for the packaging. This again has something a bit more unique. It has this sort of very like artsy packaging, and it's a bit different from what we usually see from like holiday sort of launches. Something that I did, I think, discuss on my makeup news video that I would check very carefully, that are these existing shades. I do believe some of these look pretty similar from what I've seen on Lisa Eldridge before, so maybe if you're especially shopping for yourself, maybe check beforehand that you're not getting any doubles. But this goes to the category that why I put it in my sort of holiday favorites video is that it has a pretty unique kind of packaging design for a holiday collection. Then we're going back to drugstore, so I think Colourpop this year they did manage to execute again their holiday collection pretty nicely. So Colourpop's holiday collection this year is with Grinch, so this is especially for the US viewers, and I think this is something that aside from Colourpop's website you might be able to shop this at, does it US Ulta? I think US Ulta sells like Colourpop, so you could actually get this on store. I did discuss on my makeup news video that if this would be more accessible to me, the eyeshadow palette would have been something that I would have been 100% getting. It has a couple of pops of green, but otherwise it is this pinky linen eyeshadow palette, so it's something that I would have probably enjoyed. And also I think some of the Super Shock highlighters and even maybe some of the lip products would have been something that I would have liked to try. So again, I think for those of you who are shopping either holiday makeup for yourself or also for someone at a drugstore prices, I do think the Colourpop like Grinch collection, I think this would make a pretty nice holiday gift or something for you personally if you especially prefer this sort of like a pinky toned color story. Then we go to the maybe more again to the high end, and this I am putting here because I can also appreciate these days a holiday collection that is more curated down. I think definitely I had the pace when I said that the more is more was better, but I did think these days with a big makeup collection I can appreciate brands that can edit themselves down. So Patrick Ta launched two variations of this special edition holiday duos, so you get one of their cheek sort of blush duos and then you get a lip gloss shades, and I do have to say I like both of the shades in these, so I like the sort of muted pink variation but also the deep mauve that is included in this sort of holiday launch. If you shop Patrick Ta within Europe, I do believe these were available on Cult Beauty. I think the more toned down pink one, it was sold out, but I think I might have seen that they might have been able to restock these. But I think the more deeper mauve variation that was still available, at least on Cult Beauty's website. But yeah, I say that if you're looking for something a bit more smaller, a bit more curated, but you still want to, you know, spend a bit more money, I would say that these could be something to look into. I do, as I said, I like the shades. And also like that Patrick Ta bought out a bit more sparkler glosses. However, these are the kind of glosses that I think are plumping glosses, so if you're not a fan of plumping glosses, then this might not be, or the gloss at least is not probably something for you. Then some, again, European drugstore. I do think I was kind of thinking that would I feature this, but I think if you are especially like shopping within a European drugstore on a budget, I do think the Catrice's holiday collection was the nicer ones. Catrice had a burgundy theme to it. I am kind of liking that they did include another headband. I think the headband they included last year was pretty nice, and I do like the burgundy shade one that is also included in this one. This has, is there a full face in this one? There's almost a full face. You have an eyeshadow duo. There's this sort of glitter eyeshadow stick that have been pretty trendy. You get some cheek products in this one, and there is some lip products. So I think if you're especially someone who is you like your sort of wine colored burgundy shade, deep purples, then this could be a nice collection to look into. There's also like I think the keychain is a bit maybe unnecessary, but other than that I do think for a drugstore holiday collection, because some of like Catrice's limited edition collections, they can look a bit cheap, but at least with this one I don't think these look that drugstore-ish when you like consider that the prices are still very low. I think the most expensive one might be one of the headband and the cheek products. I think are like cheek products are almost €6 and the headband is almost €5, but very, I would say, inexpensive considering that it does, as I said, it doesn't look that cheap. Then a holiday collection that I did end up shopping. So I got the highlighter, and actually something that was not featured in this particular image I did end up. I'm actually wearing the highlighter and the one of the like glittery lipsticks from this particular collection. So Kiko's holiday collection, I think they did nail this one in terms of the packaging this year. I was kind of initially thinking that how I was feeling about this sort of very snow white-esque packaging, but actually I do think having the products in hand, I did kind of make the conclusion that actually I think this was pretty well executed. There was a lot of things, as there's always with Kiko's collection. I would say definitely, especially if you have a huge Kiko Milano collection, and because Kiko is notorious for recycling shades, maybe check what you already have, because I was again almost falling into this, that I was kind of thinking, okay, yeah, that aside from the highlighter, the blush is looking quite nice, but then I looked at the blush shade and I realized that okay, it's the same more deep mauvish blush shade that they have had almost in their every, I think, holiday collection during the last like few years. So just when you are shopping this look into your collection, especially the previous holiday items, that you're not buying any doubles in the new packaging. But this was definitely a collection that had everything, so I think if you are looking for a holiday collection that gives you a full face, I think the Kiko collection is pretty close, because I think there's even a foundation included in this one, so you are probably gonna get a full face of holiday makeup if you're shopping this particular collection. Then a couple of indie palettes that I did want to feature in this one. I think I did discuss in the intro that the only one that I am so far missing is that from Odensai we haven't yet seen their holiday collection, but I am assuming because last year they did launch it halfway through November that it is still probably going to come. So we are going to be depending what the Odensai collection will look like this year, it would have probably been included in this one, but at least so far I haven't seen any sneak peeks of that one yet. But Nomad did a holiday palette inspired by the sort of German Christmas market, and while I wasn't for me this wasn't a perfect color story, but I can kind of appreciate going hard with the theme, and I know Nomad's quality, having tried it this year, it's a pretty good quality eyeshadow, and also their pricing is still pretty reasonable for an indie brand. So I think that if you are someone who very much like the color story that this palette has, then I would actually maybe look into this, because I do think Nomad's quality is pretty good, and also they do, if you live within European Union, they ship from a EU-based warehouse, and obviously if you shop within US, you can they shop within US. But yeah, I just think that I wanted to feature this one here because I do kind of like how that they really went full on with the sort of like Christmas market, European Christmas market theme, and it shows in the inside and the outside of the palette. Then in terms of color story, it's probably one of my favorite holiday palettes. So Simply Posh Cosmetics has launched a gingerbread bakery palette, and this is a what I would say a sort of pastel-y, half pastel, half neutral holiday palette, which I think is pretty like a soft spot for many, because I think for a lot of people these sort of half neutral, half colorful palettes are quite appealing because they do kind of give you a bit more versatility. And I do have to say, especially the outside of the packaging, it doesn't show in this particular image that I'm showing you, but the outside is basically also like a gingerbread theme, so I think they really nailed this in terms of like being a holiday palette from inside and outside. This is a palette that I hope I'm gonna be getting as a birthday present, so we shall be waiting for that one because it's gonna probably take a while. But yeah, in terms of like indie holiday palettes, I think this is so far like my sort of favorite one that has been announced and shown. Then we are having few more high-end brand ones that I wanted to show, and then I think we're done. So Narcissus Holiday this year, I think aside from the Clé de Peau and YSL, this also goes with the like one of the best packaging. Was everything inside this maybe not the... I wasn't such a big fan of the eyeshadow palette because it is quite of a this sort of like muted pastel palette. I don't think you would get a lot of versatility with this one. And also I think the powder has been something that we have seen from NARS before. I do have to say the highlighter looks very nice, and also I am still kinda wishing that I could maybe get one of the face palettes. I did actually see that there was a very strange launch in this one. So with the NARS Holiday we did manage to get some... during the October we got everything else in most of the retailers except for some reason the 6-pan face palettes. Now I have actually seen the face palettes in few online retailers, so at least you can get these now, at least here in Europe in some places, but I am trying to be good and not order more face palettes because there's been like, I have quite a few in my collection, and there's only so many cheap products that I can actually like realistically use. But yeah, but in terms of packaging, this was I think done in a collaboration with a sort of designer, so it kind of shows, and yeah, goes to the top packaging from the holiday launches this year. So then a holiday collection that I did shop, and this was actually like the one that I was most excited about from during this year. So this was the Dior's holiday collection. So I have what I got from this collection was the sort of liquid highlighter. I got the reddish leaning eyeshadow quad, and then I got one of the, I actually have the one of these blushes. And yeah, I have already reviewed the sort of liquid. By the time this video goes live, you have already seen a review of the liquid highlight and the blush, because those were in the sort of collective makeup review video. And the eyeshadow quad is going to be featured in my collective eyeshadow palette review video once I get enough palettes in to like film a whole review video. In terms of packaging, Dior went with the golden packaging. My only critique for maybe this one was that the golden packaging, it was pretty similar to the outside packaging last year. So in terms of the eyeshadow quads, because I did end up getting quads, these are quints, they have 5 shades. So in terms of the quints, you can't separate the eyeshadow quints that you got from last year from this year because they are having the similar packaging. But yeah, this was again goes to the in terms of packaging and overall design, this goes to the better ones. And then the last one, and this was from Chanel, and while I don't think I think Chanel definitely they should maybe up their game in terms of special edition packaging, but what I did kind of like was the products that were inside, and especially what I wanted to feature from Chanel was the holiday quad. So usually from luxury brands we don't see that many exciting color stories, especially for holiday, because they do want to appeal to the mass market, but from Chanel I can actually appreciate that they went to very different route. So they had this sort of very muted bluish quad in this particular collection. I also do kind of think the blushes look kind of cool, but then I started seeing reviews about the blushes, and the blushes are apparently very sheer, so you aren't getting a lot of pigment with them. But I can appreciate for the fact that Chanel did something very different with the quad. I did discuss on my makeup news video that I was kind of thinking this sort of silent night theme when I saw the first promo images of this particular launch. I think just like with the other luxury brand, you should be able to buy the Chanel Holiday Collection now in most of the retailers. I think in our retailer I saw that the quad was almost like 80 euros, but that was, I had bought actually a few years ago, I did end up buying one of the holiday quints, and I think it was pretty similar priced, priced when you compare it to this year's launch. So for Chanel prices there wasn't anything that new about it, but yeah. But for Chanel, I'd say for bravery, I would give them brownie points. This probably is a holiday collection that's still not going to be for everyone, especially I would say worn with the blushes. You aren't going to get a lot of pigment to them, which is kind of a shame because that means that a lot of people aren't just going to be able to use them. But I think the quad in this one is something that I would say is the standout product from the holiday launch from Chanel this year. Those were the holiday launches that I wanted to feature in the sort of favorites video from this year. Comment down below maybe what have been your sort of top holiday launches that brands have made this season. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from my future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I can see you in another video. Bye bye!